Welcome to you, Ahmed. Based on what we just heard, Israel taking bodies away, they say they're trying to identify whether there might be Israeli captives, deceased Israeli captives amongst them. What do you make of that explanation that they give? I don't know where international law stands on this, but it still sounds like an horrific thing to do. How do you assess it?
I think, similar to so many grave violations that we have seen over the past almost year now, we're talking about 10 months of this horrific conflict, there have been so many instances where Israel was taking unilateral action in terms of verifying information or investigating information, and most of the times we are none the wiser what happened after these investigations and what the outcomes are. I think we have been calling for independent investigations. Without commenting on this particular incident, I have to say there have been so many incidents reported by the people themselves. Actually, we speak to people who have been stopped at checkpoints, taken away. Some of them never heard of again, and some of them, were sent back. We have seen instances of Israel, for example, detaining people on the streets at checkpoints, and of course there have been reports of detentions against children and all sorts of different segments of the community. I think overall we have seen, I would say, international law lacking in terms of independent investigation and in terms of the right procedure in place, and that's another instance. And of course, while the death machine continues in Gaza.
There was a line that came out today from the UN saying that child malnutrition in the north of Gaza has risen. In just 1 month, from July to August, it's up 300%. This doesn't seem like it would be a very big problem to solve. They know where the children are, they know what the problem is, that they need food, they know that Israel controls access in and out of the region. Why is the international community not doing something about this?
Simply because it looks like that diplomacy has given up on convincing Israel that it has a duty to protect civilians. And I can remind you, I can take you back to when, obviously the north was cut off from the rest of Gaza, the Gaza Strip. When Rafah was completely destroyed, there was almost no action taken. We had the pier, and then the pier was dismantled, which brought in probably a fraction of what it promised us it would bring. I think there is, clearly there's a diplomatic failure somewhere in the international community. The UN Security Council has been almost put to sleep, really. And at the same time, these decisions and the international pressure is leaving very little in terms of actual action and reaction from Israelis to protect the people they, control. They occupy, and all the routes that they control. So I have to say it has been disappointing. We have been, saying for months now that we have not been able to bring a single truck in because of Israeli restrictions and because of lack of security. We're not able to bring in fresh food or, shelter items. And, we have been met with almost total, deaf ears. And that's particularly concerning, given the situation that you have just mentioned in terms of access to food and malnutrition, and we are hearing about that almost every single day. Our colleagues in Gaza tell us that all people have for a dinner is a sweet potato, and that is Israel's duty to make sure that food reaches the people.
Ahmed, appreciate your time. Ahmed Bayram, my guest from the Norwegian Refugee Council. Thank you.